And I think you've touched on something that I think for many people is troublesome, and is the relationship with the parents.
Yes.
Because of that, because
Yeah.
they feel the parents
Yeah.
didn't do good enough.
No, exactly. And you know what? There are cases where people have been in highly dysfunctional houses, and as much as you can resolve that my parents were healing or feeling like if there was addiction in the family, that they were suffering, that's not fair. Every child deserves to have a safe environment to grow. Every child. And this is part of why the reasons I went into parent coaching is I really wanted families to become strong units that supported children.
Awesome.
And then I got to realise that I was coaching children anyway, whether they were adults or children. Because we're all our 7-year-old selves who feel we couldn't have been Batman, rather than, and the shame that's associated with it. So if we can understand that little point at which we decided that we weren't good enough, that changes everything along the way.
My goodness, yes, it's that domino effect of having
exactly
and like open that cookie, you know, that when you find the answer that you were looking for.
And it's and sometimes it's not even one moment or a number of moments or a number of things. It's just this prevailing sense. I just wasn't good enough. That there's something within me that's shameful, and so that can sometimes be a little harder to heal. It's that gentle curiosity of looking at your family and their tribal cycle and the things that were allowed and weren't allowed, and who you looked up to in your family as well. So maybe you were really attached to your father and he had sparks of anger and violence, and that is, well, I'm attached to this person, therefore I must be like that. But you're not. It's just that there's this, you know, because lots of children who come from homes, highly dysfunctional homes, they adore their parents. They'll defend them. They'll be their carers. And yet I have to accept that some of that is me.
Wow.
But that's really tough. And it happens in families that are separating or divorced as well, when one parent will talk about the other parent, or they'll overhear discussions about the other parent. Well, I'm part of them. That must be part of me.
Wow, that is how do you call that? Like when you relate something, when you put two things
a complex
together.
equivalence.
Yes.
So I'm, you know, because of that, that's me as well. And that's normal for children to do because they're so attached to their parents.
And so that is again another root cause of shame.
There's many things that cause shame. And as I said, the job or role of us as adults, and hopefully somewhere in your 20s you do that, even before, but generally in our 20s we have this time of finding ourselves. And you know, so people do it later as well, but sometimes it's this finding ourselves, and that's what it is. It's understanding where it all came from.
I just really like what you have been mentioning throughout the conversation of really learning to separate what we do from who we are.
Yes.
The way we behave, respond, and from, you know, who we really are. And it's very much like what Buddhism says, that we are all innately good. So what we do it's just the consequence of something else.
Yes, it is. And I know many parenting books and many people and experts in parenting always say if a child does something that isn't acceptable, you know, that you need to modify, because if they kept doing that to the age of 25, it wouldn't look good. That you talk about the behaviour, not the child. So it's always what you've done isn't the right thing at this time. Not you.
Not who you are.
You're not bad. What you did wasn't the right thing at this time.
My God, huge difference, and it's so just
it's a big difference.
And it's like so simple in a way.
Yes, it's about the behaviour. You talk about the behaviour, not the child. The child's not bad.
Yeah. And so, Kathy, to me, it fascinates me how we are living now in a world where I could say, 90% of the population are experiencing stress.
Yes.
And anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And so how does that underlying shame help the creation of that?
Yeah, well, shame puts you off balance. So shame, when we feel shame, we need to project it somewhere else. Well, often. There are some people will just go inwards, and often depression, anxiety is an inwards thing. And then there's the other way. I'm just angry at everyone. Or I need to project this on the people, my family, my work colleagues, the world in general. And I think social media is a great example of that. The haters out there that have got to put their opinion out without having, it's not feedback. It's just nastiness, because somewhere deep within them there's that shame.
So not feeling enough or good enough or loved has to come out in a way.
Has to come out in a way. It comes out. And as I said, some people bring it inward and others bring it externally. And we have this crisis of bullying and nastiness, and that is because of shame. Because of that deep-seated shame that people are pushing out to others to make themselves feel better. It can present itself in addiction as well. So that's a need for me to feel better, to fill the void that I feel, rather than manage the shame and understand it.
Wow. So addiction is a way of feeling good about myself.
I know it doesn't make sense. It's a cover up. It's a self-medicating, and we do it in lots of ways. My favourite method's food. Or TV. TV can be another. Social media. There are lots of addictions out there that are lesser known that allow us to escape it, cover it up, forget about it.
Not look at it.
Rather than go, okay, there's something within me, I'm not feeling adequate at this time.
Yeah. Well, I really hope that these kind of conversations help.
I hope so too. This is why it needs to be had, and for people who out there might be triggered by this or thinking, or denying it, whatever it is, that gentle curiosity with it. Just sit with it for a little while, let it percolate, let it help. Just take it in a little, and flexibility and openness to things, and then make decisions after that of what you do and how you manage it.
So with stress, and it just came to my mind as you were saying, for example, with overachievers, the people that always feel that they need to do more, because they need to fill that void of not feeling good enough or worthy.
Yes.
And so that creates a lot of stress.
It does create stress.
Yeah.
I mean, stress comes from, we live in a society in which we've got so many conveniences, and we're more stressed.
Yeah, that's so true. I hadn't thought of that.
Because we've opened ourselves up to more and more things. So we can do more now. But really the day-to-day caring for ourselves, the day-to-day functioning, unless we put that on autopilot, which you can, or outsource it, we try to stack everything else on top of that and then feel inadequate.
Wow.
When really, getting up in the morning, looking after yourself, caring for your family, going about and doing your job well, is enough. Yeah. If everyone did, it's enough. And doing your job well doesn't mean. So you talked a little bit about overachieving, and often that comes with perfectionism.
Oh yeah.
And I'm
a
recovered perfectionist. I gave up perfection about 3 years ago and went, nah. Because perfectionism is like a standards, and those people out there going, wait a minute, I've got really high standards. Well, no, you haven't, because you never achieved the goal that you wanted. It's never perfect.
Yeah.
Nothing can be ever perfect. And so, that is born in shame. I've got to be better. Because there's something wrong with me. and I need to please my tribe. It's a pattern of a habit. Yeah. I've learned that I need to be the hero in the family because then they'll love me and accept me, and I'll love and accept myself because that's the starting point. That's the job of being an adult, is going, actually, I love and accept myself.
Just like I am.
Just as I am, warts and all. Bad decisions, bad actions, crappy stuff I've done, bad choices, whatever it is, that's who I am.
That's who I am. Wow. Thank you, Kathy. That was so cool. I'm enjoying this conversation so much.
Thank you. Look, I hope that people get value out of this, and it's huge.
They will.
It's such a big conversation.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I wanted to actually now ask, how come does shame go unnoticed?
Oh, well, it goes back to that. We don't talk about it, or we talk about it on a superficial thing. There are some people who are allowed to own shame.
Like who?
Well, if you've done something really, like society-wise, really bad, you are allowed to be shameful.
Okay, yeah.
If addiction, if you've got a serious addiction, you're allowed to be shameful. In fact, the world goes, you should be shameful. But for the everyday person, it's like, well, shame, I think we mislabel it. Shame is this sense of, I'm not good enough, I'm inadequate. And everyone has felt that. And shame comes about when we don't then go and fill our gaps. We just hold back and not do it. So if I can go back to your question, because I've gone off on a tangent here, which I do. So ask me the question again and then I'll go back to it.
Like, how come does it go unnoticed?
Okay, yes. Well, because of that, and also because in order to mask the deep shame or the sense of I'm not good enough, I'm inadequate, we do these other things. Overachieving is a classic one. This constant need to be better. I've got to have everything, all the balls juggled in the air all of the time, is hiding shame. It's covering it up. And so people admire overachievers. We're like, whoa, look at them. I want to be like that.
Yeah.
When really somewhere inside them they're feeling ashamed that I need to constantly do this. An example of someone who is getting through shame is they muck up and they go, you know what, I made a mistake, and they're okay.
Wow.
And people, and actual fact, the way to make true connection in life is to actually be vulnerable. And I mean, Brené Brown talks about this all the time, in that when we can let shame out, other people go, oh, that's me too.
Yes.
I can now understand myself through you and you through me, and that's deep connection and intimacy.
Oh, that's so beautiful, yes.
Yeah, so we don't do that. We cover it, we hide it, we deny it, we create patterns, we take on roles. All those things are hiding the underlying shame, why we don't see it and why we don't deal with it.
I find it very interesting from what you just said that we collectively value hiding shame.
Oh yeah, we do. Parenting's the classic for it. I mean, how many families will talk only about the good stuff and never about the kids doing anything their kids are perfect, or they're perfect, or their life is perfect. It goes the other way too, in parenting too, in a lot of parenting circles, is that, everything, my kids are always crappy, like, everything's bad as well. So there's anytime there's extremes, it's either this or it's that, it's black or white, it's dichotomous. We know that there's shame. There's shame there. Any society, if you look at if we look at the macro of our world, where are we swinging? Conservative. And then we swing back to here. That's because as a society, we've never dealt with the shame that comes with it. And so somewhere in the middle is everything and all.
So what would happen? My question is, what would happen if we're actually, willing to open up, to be vulnerable?
Yes. Now, I have to preface this because let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
Okay, we live in a real world in which there are people that are hurting and will hurt you if you are vulnerable. Okay? If you're vulnerable to anyone and all. We need to lead the way by living our own truth.
Yes.
Saying and doing what we mean.
Yeah.
Understanding who we are. Going back and healing whatever it needs to be healed.
Yes.
Being compassionate with ourselves and our family.
Yeah.
When we do that, we can do it with people that are willing to listen and love. And the people who can't accept that, we have to distance ourselves from them. We can only we can only control what's within ourselves.
Yeah.
And so, yes, if everyone went on that journey, it would be wonderful. Not everyone's ready to do that, and we are all on our own journeys.
Yes.
And we need to respect that. And sometimes that respect for that journey is leaving you alone.
Yeah. That is so interesting. Because I think, maybe because I'm a bit in the role of the savior.
I was just going to say, the saving. Don't worry, I'm there with you. I'm so there with you. I think when I went into coaching, I want to help the people who don't want to be helped. I'm a lunatic. No! People who want to seek this out will be drawn to it.
Yes. And it's one of the things that I've learned throughout my journey working as a healer. Yeah. It's like, not everybody wants to hear your advice.
No.
First, you shouldn't give it.
You shouldn't give it to them.
If it's not requested.
Exactly. And I hope that people who don't want to hear this is tuned out. Like, that's okay. It really is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's being okay with that,
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. But one of the things actually that I found interesting when I started doing healing was that I was in this role of saving. And when I couldn't save, I felt like a failure.
Yes. Yeah.
And now I am stepping out of that.
Yes. Everyone is, except for children, but at some point in our life, we are responsible for how we live our life. We can understand it's come from our conditioning, but we're responsible for how we deal with that. It's that victim mentality.
Yes.
And that's not to say, there are some people who have suffered terrible things, and that needs healing. Yeah. It really does. It's not coming from you've got to dismiss that, or, not, I don't want to hear it. It's a compassion of understanding that people are all on their own journey. And you know what? If they could do better, they would, but they don't have the resources within them at this time. And that's okay, because I know I've got things within me that I don't have the resources for yet either.
Yeah. Yes. And as you said, it's okay.
It's okay.
It will come.
It's all good.
Yes.
Yeah. Work towards it.
Yeah. And so, talking about working towards those things, what could be the first things that we can start doing?
Oh, I love this question. Okay, so we've dealt why we need to deal with it.
Yes.
We've dealt with how it presents itself in lots of different ways, how it's born. Now how we work on it.
Yes.
Like, how many self-help books you go, yeah, that's great, but now what do I do?
Exactly. Tell
me what to do. Starts with awareness.
Okay.
So it's this thing that, and I think Einstein said it, I could be wrong, and maybe just people decided that Einstein said it. You can't solve the problems with the thinking that created the problems.
Yes, I think it was.
It was?
Or they say yes.
They say yes. So in other words, we only know what we know. And the thinking that we had created that problem. Therefore, you must and should go and find someone that you can work with, and maybe you in your healing, and maybe someone. There are many pathways to this. That's why I love Buddhism in that way. The Buddhists say there are many pathways to enlightenment.
Yes.
They're the only lifestyle, because they're not generally a religion, that, and I'm not a Buddhist, but I love some of the practices, that you can be a Buddhist and Catholic. You could be a Buddhist and a Muslim.
True. And
no other religions don't allow for that, which is quite interesting to me. Yeah. So there are many ways to find to solve this shame within you. this sense of inadequacy, the sense of a fake. And find that. Keep finding, keep searching for whatever it is that's going to work for you. But that comes from knowing I don't have the answers now, therefore I'm going to go look.
Okay.
I'm going to create an awareness. I'm going to create an awareness, and yes, the answers are within, but you only untap those when you talk to other people.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you shine light on shame.
Yeah. Because many people actually go like, no, I'll work with this on my own. That's
I'll work it out myself.
Yes.
You can't. It's and you know, like what we're really talking about is well-being.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So well-being is this overall sense that everything is right, that I'm in alignment, that I feel centered, that the world is a good place, and I'm a part of it, and I feel a sense of purpose, and that I'm doing what I need to be doing. And that well-being, if you look at it, and the flip side of that is illness. Okay, well-being, what's the first two letters?
W-E. We.
Illness, what's the first letter?
I.
Well-being only comes from us being with others and understanding and talking, and so that's the answer. Well-being, we need to work together. We need to be together.
Yes, it's that community. I have always believed that we didn't come here to be on our own, just on our own.
No.
We came here to interact.
Yes.
To be in community.
Yeah.
To share.
And I believe that we're here doing what we need to be doing with the people we needed to be doing it with. Yeah. That on some level we made an unconscious decision. Well, we made a conscious decision. We're not conscious of it. To be together. This conversation was meant to be here because that was what was meant to be. Not alluding that I'm going to lead my life. So I'll for the people who are going, okay, then I've just got to let things happen. No, we have a power and a purpose in life that we need to look for within us and outwardly, both ways. But we are meant to be doing what we're doing.
So awareness, being curious.
Curious, awareness. Then there are a couple of exercises you can do, which
I'm
happy to share with you.
Yes, please.
Okay, so one of them is like when we're in shame, it's going, I'm hopeless, I can't do this. You know, we do this internal language. It's this voice that just goes psycho on us.
Yeah.
We're in a shame fest. We have two brains. We have a lizard brain, which is pure emotion, and then we have our rational brain, our prefrontal cortex. And our lizard brain pops up with shame. And it's very hard to rationalise. But it's something you can do. So if you, outside of your shame, so within shame and when you're feeling that way, it's just accepting and being, I'm feeling this, I'm okay. Because it will pass. Emotions are like clouds in the sky. They come and go. They don't stay. They're not us. They're a response to other things around us. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, they're not meant to stay.
They're not. You don't have to believe them either. They don't have to stay. They're part of us. They're how we respond to the world, and they're part. We need to do that. But noticing them, okay. But outside of that is when you remember that language. You stand in front of a mirror. You pinch your nose, and the lovely Sharon Pearson I did this exercise with her, and you say, I'm hopeless, I'm useless, and say all those things with this pinched nose.
With your nose pinched,
And it creates this silly, it sounds so silly, it breaks the neurology of it. So it's a very interesting exercise to do, and you just go, whenever, all those words that come up, pinch your nose. I have a very nasal, so it doesn't really work for me. But you pinch your nose and you go, and you say all those things and it sounds ridiculous. And all you can do is laugh. And that breaks that cycle. It's something to do. It's a very simple exercise to do that. That's one way that some people have broken that neurology of I'm not good enough, I can't do this, and all those sorts of things.
So you can basically use that as let's say, an emergency treatment.
Yes. Yeah, you can. You can use it as an emergency treatment, yes. The other way, another exercise to use is change your language.
Okay.
So our language is another way we create our universe and our world. And so the I am statements, take away I am happy, I am this, you use I am feeling. I am feeling, or I'm doing, rather than the I am and the verb.
Yes.
Put the feeling or the action in between, and that will change how your body starts responding to that, to the world.
That is so powerful.
It is. That is, if I could say it, you have, what will happen though, is you'll go, yep, I'm going to do that, and then you'll just hear yourself doing it all the time. You'll just hear it. You go, damn, I'm hopeless at this. No, I'm hopeless at this. Shame. Right? And so you go, yep, noticed it, and eventually, through that noticing, you'll start doing it. So just, because what happens is people notice and go, yeah, I'm hopeless at this. That didn't work. You've got to push through that initial awareness. Because with now, when you do anything personal development, there's an awareness before you can change it, and that awareness can cause discomfort, but it's not permanent.
Oh, this is so key. I love what you just said.
It's not permanent. So understand that you have to go through some discomfort. There is some discomfort. It varies for different people, and then there's a little bit of point where some people become addicted to the discomfort and becomes their thing. So be aware, you need a great friend who, or someone who, either not a great friend, but someone who will be honest with you.
Yes.
And say, what are you getting out of being crappy all the time? But,
awesome.
That's a hard conversation. But there is discomfort. And that discomfort is learning. I know I'm moving forward. Yes, I know I'm moving forward. It will change. Awareness first, over time. It won't. For some people, it is a flick of the switch. Some people can flick it, and especially if there was one defining moment, like with my daughter, and she just went, no, oh wow, that, and it's not to say she's dealt with all the shame. There may be other things that come up, and we'll have another conversation. But for other people, it is a longer thing to come to it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for those tips, Kathy. I think really they're gonna help everybody. Yes. I mean, I know they're helping me already. Good. Yeah. Very good. Being very aware of the language. That is
a language. Be aware of your language. Yes.
Yes. Fantastic. So, Kathy, I have two more questions actually.
Okay.
What could be like an encouraging message for both parents and adults, to do this work?
Okay. I tend to go big picture, so I'll go big and I'll come back down. I think this is a journey that we have to do, because this is how the world changes. This is literally how we change the world, and it isn't the grand, that there are people out there doing wonderful things in the world, but the real work is in the individuals. Individuals becoming their authentic selves that lead the way for others to do it as well. That ripple effect. This is really how we change, and perhaps I'm idealist. I went into teaching thinking I'd change one child at a time, but really that is how we do it. And so as parents and adults, this is not just you do it for yourself. You have to do it for yourself, but we're doing it for everyone else as well. And if you're a people pleaser, then do it for others first. That's okay, and then you'll start doing it for yourself. It's really, really important that we take this journey. For parents, it's important for you to heal so you don't pass it on. And for all adults, every relationship we have, once we understand ourselves, we understand where our shame and our inadequacies come from, we can then start seeing other people for who they are and not for their masks.
I'm feeling very emotional right now. Because this is...
It's the way we change the world. It really, really is. We, So yes, it's about us, but it's about the group as well. Yeah. It's about everyone. Yeah. And I got people notice. It's like moths to a light. People start to notice when you do this internal work. Yeah. When you start understanding who you are, why you came to where you are, and making conscious decisions about how you're going to respond to the world. Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Amazing.
I've really enjoyed it.
Okay, wait, hold on. I have one more question.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
This is the question that I ask to everybody.
Yeah.
And it's, how does Kathy approach life with love?
Oh, I love this question. I knew I would. I remember when you told me you were going to ask this question, and I haven't done any preparation other than this, because I thought about this one. And I think love comes from ourselves first. Yeah. We have to be willing to love ourselves and to understand that it is our innate being that makes us lovable. Not the things we do, not the actions we take, but because we are here, we are lovable. And that's it. Yeah. And knowing that deeply, I'm lovable. And because of that, other people, you can then give love to others. Good. And I remember my mum, and I'll get a bit emotional about this. So my mum passed away when I was 16. Oh, wow. And I didn't have a father around, so that was it. Wow. I was an adult. And so she said, I remember when I was younger, she used to have foster children come to the house all the time. And I said to her as a kid, how is it you can love all these kids? Meaning, why aren't you loving me? Yeah. Like, that was the kid in me. And she said, well, love is one of those things, no matter, there's always more of it. And the more you love, the more there is. Oh. And so that's basically, when we love ourselves, we can give more love. Yeah. And that comes from being compassionate with yourself, because compassion is born in love, and others, and going, I don't know how you or anyone else has come to where they've come to, how they've gotten to this point. Yeah. I haven't walked in their footsteps, I haven't lived their life, and therefore wherever they are at, it is because they are trying to seek love. Yeah. And when you understand that, it's like a buffer against 99% of things that people say to you or do to you that you feel are not, is because they're trying to seek love in an unresourceful way. Yeah. Yeah. And that doesn't mean you accept it. Yeah. It means that it's not about me. I'm still lovable. I'm always lovable. I was when I was born, and I am to the day that I am now.
Wow, Kathy.
That's my thing on love. That's how I live love. Do I always go, I'm lovable? No. If we're hitting for 80% of the time, I reckon we're doing pretty good.
Yes.
80% of the time, and just accepting and loving people how they are. Yeah. Right where they're at.
Amazing, Kathy. I think definitely this conversation has so many, how do you call that in English? Little nuggets.
Yes.
Gold nuggets.
Yes. And I think we could go back and create like a thing on just that thing. Yeah. And go, that's another one. And it is like that. It's a big topic. So I love that when you asked me to do this, I'm going, shame. Yes. Let's talk about shame, please.
Kathy, well, thank you so much for having said yes.
Thank you.
And I always give my listeners the opportunity of contacting my interview. So where could they find you?
Look, I have a Facebook group called Mindset to Inspire, a Facebook page. My business is Mindset to Inspire.
Awesome.
And they're more than welcome to contact me through that page, that Facebook page. And I'm happy for them to contact me, and they can message me through that page and say, hi, love to have a chat.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Do you have a website?
No, I don't.
No.
Not
Okay.
yet. Not yet. I'm
Yes.
in the process of doing that.
Beautiful.
In the process of doing getting a website together. So yeah, my Facebook page is probably the best one to go through there. Yeah.
Great. Kathy, thank you once again. And well, I'll see you around for sure.
Yeah, we need to have a hug.
Yes.
Like this is a huggable conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. And thank you to all the listeners and people who are watching the videos. Until next time.
Yeah.
Bye.